Hey, John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy, doing another stream for you over Missouri real estate specific information. Very quick live stream. We're going to go over educational requirements, and trust me, you will have some questions over this section. So let's get right into it. Again, we are going to go over the educational requirements. This is chapter 6 from the Missouri rules, okay? So chapter 6, educational requirements, what's required to get a real estate license. Now, I did a podcast a while back on with some of my friends from the Real Estate Educators Association, and they are instructors who teach pre-licensed real estate courses all over the United States. And I just said, hey, what would be your advice for a student going through the real estate course to pass the real estate exam? And one of my good friends, Lynn Elder, who is the director of education for the North Carolina Association of Realtors, said, read the candidate handbook. Great advice from Lynn. You've got to read the candidate handbook. So important. And so this information is right out of the candidate handbook. So that's why I think it's great to read the candidate handbook, and I love what Lynn said. But let's go through this. You're going to see some questions on the exam over this. I'm going to bring this up so you can hopefully see it on screen. First of all, looks a little bit fuzzy to me, so I hope it doesn't look that way for you. But schools have to be accredited to teach a 48-hour salesperson's pre-license examination. So the course for salespersons is 48-hour, and if you want to get your broker's license, it is 48 hours. And so there's various topics that need to be included with the course, and you can get that from the handbook. Now, at Global Real Estate School, we have that in your additional references. So you want to get the candidate handbook, okay? Very, very important. And read that thing. I get questions all the time from students, and they finish the course and they're asking me questions, and I'm like, that's a test question. So you have to, let's just go over this here very quickly, just so everybody's on the same page here. So for your salesperson's license, you have to attend a 48-hour course. Approved, accredited course. That's what Global Real Estate offers. You have to be 18 years of age when you make application. Now, that's an important point because a lot of times these questions, they want to give you this in a story form. And so the question I get a lot of times is, could someone who's 17 years old begin the course, complete the course, take the examination, pass the examination, and apply for a real estate license? Well, the answer is it depends. Here's the next part of this that I want you to understand. Let's just put an arrow here, when you finish on the last day of class, when you finish that course, what you have to do, let's just say today when I'm recording this, is 6/29/23. If this is the day you finish right here, you have 180 days to do several things here, okay? Number one, you have to pass the state exams. Now remember, I don't know why that wants to do that, but you have to pass the state exams. There is a national part. All of these could be test questions. 100 questions. you have to make a 70%. Now again, we're on the Missouri state specific information. There's a state part of the exam, 40 questions, you have to make 75%, okay? So you have to get 70 right here, and you have to have a 75% pass rate, and we could use our little T formula to figure out, well, how many questions do you have to get right? It's right around 30, but we're not going to do that right now. I just want you to know those are the numbers, okay? Now, over here in the state, they're going to give you 45 questions. 5, they are just testing out. They will not grade those 5. So don't be alarmed if you see 45 questions. You're only being graded on the 40 that's on your test. You will see 5 kind of questions that they just want to try out, okay? So we're talking about you finish the course on 6/29 today. You have 180 days to pass both exams. Now, what happens if you only pass the national? Well, you only have to take the state exam, okay? So in that 180 days, the second piece of information that you have to do is finish what is called the 24-hour practice course. I have no idea why that wants to put that little line there, but we won't worry about it right now. So let's come back over here to the rules. And you can see there is this mention that a 24-hour Missouri real estate practice course must address the following topics. This is what you have to complete after you finish the pre-license course. Now, this is key. I had a student one time who had not finished the 48-hour course. And it was a Friday. They wanted to go ahead and register for the examination and finish my 48-hour course over the weekend so that they could take the exam on Monday or Tuesday. Unfortunately, you can't do that. It's called a post-license or a practice course. And so you can only sign up for that you can only sign up for the exam after you've completed the 48-hour course, okay? So the exam, when you complete your application for exam, they're going to ask you that question, have you completed the school? And if you say yes, and I haven't turned that into the Missouri Real Estate Commission, those dates won't match up and they will kick your application out. And when they check with me, I've got to say, according to my records, he didn't finish the school until Sunday, but he made application on Friday, and they wouldn't let him have a license. So you have to finish the 48-hour course first. I had one girl in my class, and that's why if you go through Global Real Estate School, there's a big warning that says don't take this unless you finished the 48-hour course, because she, I guess, just was kind of going back and forth. I do that a lot, reading and listening to books. I've got like 3 books going all the time at the same time, and I get that. However, she finished the 24-hour course before she finished the 48-hour course. You can't do that. So just remember, you have to finish the 48-hour course first. So finish this first, and that's when the clock starts ticking, okay? And you have 180 days at that point. And that 180 days will come back over here where we were. If I can, whoops. Go back to my whiteboard here. There we go. Let's see. Maybe I have it way too big. There we go. Here we go. So hey, we're live streaming, and hopefully you're learning some stuff here. So we're going to have some tech issues, and that just happens. This is your second part. The third part is to get your fingerprints done. And I have information at our Global Real Estate School support website. By the way, let me just show you that real quickly because I think it's kind of cool. If you ever have some questions, even if you're a student or not a student, if you go to www.globalrealestateschoolsupport.com, it should bring you over to our support page. And right here, you can just put your cursor in and you could type in fingerprints. And notice I only have to type the first few letters. And I have an article that says, how do I get my fingerprints for my license? Well, each state is a little different, but if you go out to the Missouri Real Estate Commission website, I have a link here just for this. It will take you to some frequently asked questions, and every state pretty much has one of these. So just wanted to show you that very quickly because you have to get your fingerprints, and then you have to affiliate with a broker. So you have to affiliate with a broker, get the broker to sign your application, and the fifth thing is file with the MREC, okay? Now, again, that all of this stuff has to be done within 180 days. You can hand deliver it to get that in there in that 180th day. So if you take it in there on the 188th day, you can hand deliver, and that's okay. You can also send it by certified mail or through FedEx, but you need some type of dated receipt showing it was placed in the mail with all of this stuff done. Just make sure you have your certificates from your 48-hour course and your 24-hour course, your past results, the fingerprints they will send over to the commission, but your application needs to be signed by your broker. Make sure you have all of that information, and just make sure if you're going to put it in the mail on day 180 that you get some kind of dated and timed receipt. If at all possible, you could drive it over there. I would drive it over there. But if you go through Global Real Estate School, you're going to pass the test on the first try, and you're not going to have that 180-day time frame to worry about, and everything's going to work out fine, okay? So that is some of the educational requirements. Now, let's go back over here and just take a quick look. This is just really, the rest of this just talks about the 24-hour course. I do want to make certain that everyone's kind of familiar with this information here, and I'm going to just change this to black. I think I'm going to go back to black here. A couple of things I want you to be sure and understand is that for the brokers, to get your broker's license, you have to have been licensed for, and let's just double check on this, I believe it is 24 of the last 36 months. And I want to double check that, okay? I'm teaching in all of these states, and sometimes it can get a little bit crazy. And so we're going to go over here to the rules, and we talked about this on a previous podcast, but I just want to make sure we're giving you, this is where we talk about applicants will have 6 months after satisfactory completion of required courses. That's that 180 days, right? Now, for the broker's license, I just want to make sure that we have that correct. because gosh, this is salesperson. And here we go, brokers test here. Yeah, 24 of the last 30 months. Okay, good. So I want to make sure we got that correct. So 24 of the last 30 months. So this is for brokers. You won't miss that on the exam. None of us will we? A good example that I explained to this is my wife got her real estate license in 1990. And she had her license for a number of years. We bought a Pick Your Own Blueberry Farm, but probably had her license for, gosh, I don't know, 21, 22 years. She does not have her license today, but let's say she went back, and so she's not licensed today, and she went back and got her license today in 2023, and next year, or in 6 months, she says, well, I want to get my broker's license. I had my license for 22 years. Well, you have to have been licensed as a salesperson within 24 of the last 30 months, okay? So my wife would still have to wait 2 years if she wanted to get her license, even though she was previously licensed for 22 years, if that makes sense. So brokers need that requirement. They also need the 48-hour school that we've discussed, and they will pay the fees that we've talked about on the previous podcast and everything. But that actually should wrap us up for what we want to go over today on the educational side. Now, on the next podcast, YouTube stream, we're going to look at continuing education, okay? We've only got a couple more of these left, and all of the state rules have been recorded, and then I'll come back and do we've got I've done the cheat sheet video and lots of others, but I wanted to do this just to help you and remind you, because I'm telling you what, there could be 2 or 3 questions right from what we talked about today, at least one, I know. So hopefully this was helpful. Keep watching us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check us out at Global Real Estate School. Hey, as always, thank you for watching. Go out and make it a great day.